Google to crawl, and Google wouldn't post it. So for me, the host is a big, huge factor for stolen content. And as the internet is regulated, in order, to host and provide internet services, you need to be in good standing. And one company that seems to be at the heart of the most of, stolen content as far as hosting is a company called Cloudflare. Now, guess what? I did I can look up on both of our nefarious friends at FamousInternetGirls and Thotbook.tv, and they are both hosted on Cloudflare. Weird, huh? And also the original ThoughtHub.tv that was sued was also hosted on Cloudflare. And the attorney for the person who sued ThoughtHub TV stated that they will hold ThoughtHub's members and the companies that enabled its piracy accountable for the harm they caused. And they said we will continue to chase down online pirates, and we will ask courts to enforce existing laws so that companies like Cloudflare must enact reasonable and effective repeat infringer policies to prevent sites like ThoughtHub from flourishing. It's time to end the era of online copyright lawlessness. And that was from Brett S. Rosenthal from a law firm called Reese Marketos. And that was a year ago. So they have stated that they wanted to end the lawlessness. But guess what? Cloudflare apparently did not hear them because Cloudflare continues to be the host of stolen content. And I don't think there's I never say there's anything like a coincidence. There's no such thing as a coincidence. And having the first person to get sued and these two major companies that are all over Google, as far as Thotbook and FamousInternetGirls, both being, Cloudflare hosted, not surprising. And then last of the dirty dozen is, guess what? OnlyFans. So I refer to them as the source of leaks and stolen content. And it's sad to say this, and it's sad to have to name OnlyFans itself as one of the major reasons behind the endless amount of stolen leaked content you can find online from their website. Although OnlyFans states that it is, the content protection is a top priority. It only takes a person like myself 5 seconds to find all the stolen content of a creator with a simple page one Google search. I mean, this isn't even talking about the stuff that we've discussed before about scrapers and how easy it is to find scrapers on both Google Chrome, Google itself, and also on GitHub that easily just scrapes everything right off the site. That's the mechanism. So those just exist, and with no one doing anything about them. I mean, we're not talking about that. I'm talking about simple Google searches. And you don't need to be on the dark web, or put your site or your computer at risk by going on, hack sites or bad areas of the internet. Anyone can just find stolen content everywhere you look. In most cases, the only reason that you can't find a creator's OnlyFans content or behind paywall content is because they hired a company like Ralta to clear the content themselves at their own expense. And this is just amazing because way back in 2018, the website ManyVids, a competitor of OnlyFans, and keep in mind this is 2018, put in safeguards to prevent any of this from happening to those who submitted videos on their website. They use two software programs called DMCA Force and Digiregs, which, as their website states, does the following. So I'm reading this directly from the ManyVids website. DMCA Force and Digiregs differ from other protection platforms because they will digitally imprint every single active video on ManyVids with a unique fingerprint ID, and then frequently and automatically scan the entire World Wide Web for this fingerprint. If they find a ManyVids content video somewhere where it shouldn't be, they'll automatically issue a DMCA takedown notice on behalf of the copyright owner. Wow. I mean, just think about that. If that really, if that existed for OnlyFans, this I wouldn't even have this podcast episode to be talking about. None of this would even be possible because something like Famous Girls, Internet Girls, or Thought Hub would just be inundated with DMCAs, with lawyers, with everyone else, and with OnlyFans backing it up. But that just doesn't happen. So as I've stated before, I'm going to ask the same things that I've asked before of OnlyFans. And, to stop. I'm not even asking them to implement that, which might be very difficult because they have a lot of content now on the website. But I will say this, I want them to, one, contact hosts and demand sites like Thotbook or FamousInternetGirls be taken down. And it doesn't even have to be hosts. It just has to be Cloudflare. Contact Cloudflare and tell Cloudflare, stop doing what you're doing. And then number 2, at the minimum, request to adult video sites that the term OnlyFans can't be used in titles of videos. As you can imagine, these companies already have these policies in place for similar terms. I'm not going to go into those terms, but you can just imagine the deplorable words that they block people from being able to search on their search engines or put into their titles. It wouldn't be hard to just add the variants of OnlyFans and then reach out to Google and make consistent DMCA takedown requests against the next Thought Hub type sites that pop up over time. So I agree, you're going to continue to have these sort of sites. And so OnlyFans needs to be consistently posting to Google and requesting these sites be taken down. You can see at the bottom of a lot of different Google searches where it says a DMCA request has been made and some results no longer appear. So this is not unheard of, and this is something that Google deals with all the time, but they need someone who cares to reach out and implement it and make sure that these sites are being taken down. And then lastly, implement security measures similar to ManyVids that properly encodes videos to prosecute those that distribute the content. Again, I'm not saying they have to double up like ManyVids has, but they certainly could create an ID and certainly a system with, as they are constantly bragging about the billions of dollars that they have made, they could use that to implement a better system. So why? To me, it's a big question of why. Why is it up to content creators and OnlyFans creators to protect their own content and hire their own DMCA takedown services when they're working with a billion-dollar company at this point, a company that has plenty of energy to do a lot of things? And, I'm not going to give commentary at the end here, but I think that it has to do with the fact that sometimes OnlyFans doesn't accept, what it is and who is using it. They want to be something or something else that they're not. So a site like ManyVids knows who its audience is, knows who its creators are, and cares about them. They embrace them. They want more of them. While OnlyFans is very busy trying to get sports stars and actors and a bunch of other people. And that's just, I feel, is a fact. So it's a shame that everyone has to do their own work, but they do. So that was who's stealing and profiting from your OnlyFans content. As I mentioned, you can visit the blog and get more information about this particular topic. And it lists every single one of the dirty dozen, as I mentioned, with more detail. And you can go ahead and research it yourself. And the name of that article is OnlyFans Hacks and Leaks, 12 sites that make it possible. Now, this ties into the question I had a listener ask from Abilene, Texas. They asked about OnlyFans' recent article in Bloomberg talking about trying to get funding and what that can mean for OnlyFans creators. I will say that, if you're not familiar with like a funding process where it's possible OnlyFans is trying to eventually try to become maybe a public company, a publicly funded company with stocks, get an IPO. And what happens is that in the first part of that is to try to get funding, is to try to make your company as attractive as possible to possible investors. So basically, I would say this is the first process. Now, they might put their feet in the water and then it might just, or the toes in the water, and it might just not work out. But I do not feel that OnlyFans creators at the moment need to, panic or worry that OnlyFans is moving away from them right away. That they are obviously looking at becoming a site for a lot of, as I mentioned, sports stars and actors and a lot of very famous people. And I think they're going to go ahead and make that play because they are attracting people like Floyd, Mayweather and other stars. So they're seeing, hey, this is the moment right now to try to, capitalize on that. But it's unknown whether or not they'll be successful on it. But I would not say that it's the time to worry that regular old amateur creators, might be moved aside on the platform. Okay, great. So again, my name is Richard Lewis. I am the founder of OnlyFans Hero and the OnlyFans promotion and marketing company known as SEO Bounty. You can find this podcast on Instagram at OnlyFans Secrets Podcast. You can also find us on Reddit at Reddit/OnlyFans Secrets. So it's a subreddit on Reddit itself, so it'd be r/OnlyFans Secrets. You can also find us, of course, on OnlyFans itself at onlyfans.com/OnlyFans Secrets. Or I'm sorry, at OnlyFans Hero. So it would be onlyfans.com/OnlyFans Hero. And you can subscribe for free to us on there, follow. So please do so as you get the latest updates on this podcast. We're also on TikTok at OF Secrets Podcast, as well, of course, being on Twitter at OnlyFans Hero, as well as at OnlyFans Podcast. Our podcast Twitter is growing leaps and bounds, which we really appreciate so much support from you guys. So you can reach out to me at either at OnlyFans Hero or on the OnlyFans Podcast Twitter. If you have any questions about this podcast, have any questions about OnlyFans, want your question included in an episode, please just send that to me in the DMs on OnlyFans Hero. And as always, please participate at OnlyFans Hero, where we're running promotion every 10 minutes for OnlyFans creators. So just hop on there, throw your link, throw your image for the free promotion on that page. And I really just appreciate you guys listening to this podcast. As always, if you have an opportunity to do so, please leave a review either through Amazon, through Audible on Amazon, but you can actually just look up OnlyFans Secrets on Amazon itself and leave a review, which would be great. And you can also leave it on iTunes/Apple, and it helps other people find that this podcast exists. And, again, I appreciate all the support, and I'm working very hard on the blog at seobounty.com/blog, where I think it's up to 15 different articles now on OnlyFans marketing and promotion and techniques and tips and tricks, and just want to make sure that outside of OnlyFans that we have the absolute best promotion and marketing blog possible. So feel free to check that out, and feel free to leave a comment on any of those blogs. I love to hear from you guys on your opinion on the blogs that I write. All right. Well, again, I appreciate you listening to this podcast, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you on the next OnlyFans Secrets podcast.